Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on a necklace using some of our remaining beads from Specialty, as well as this big beautiful crystal that was in the middle of our bead strand. So most of these are from Specialty, though I do have some square crystal spacers, or squardelles as they're also called, which came in my Mystery Bead Stash. So I really like those. So anyway, let's turn down and I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to make a necklace. These are items from my stash. These are the squardelles that came out of the Mystery Bead Stash. You won't know what you get. You don't know if you'll get those or not until you get your Mystery Bead Stash from SoftFlex. Then these are the beads from Specialty, as well as this one. Oh, actually, these ones did not come from Specialty, these rice beads. I think they were in a bead strand in Gingerbread. So anyway, there is the piece, our components. And what we're going to do is, I got one ball head here. Bing. This one is for our pendant. We're going to put this little spacer on the bottom. Come on, baby, go on. Says no. There we go. Then a fire polish. One of these bigger daisies. Our big crystal. The other big daisy. One of the cubes. One of the squardelles. Bing, slide over that little cube, and then one of these rice. Well, it has to go on. Now, I didn't leave enough space to do a wrapped loop with this guy, and I don't have any bigger. Though I suppose I could take some wire and make a head pin with the little floret at the bottom, which might be a better thing to do. Let me get some wire and we will do that. So I grabbed a hunk of 20 gauge wire. I'll just straighten this out. I didn't measure it, I just grabbed a piece. And how to make one of these is just take and you want to go 3 times around. Come on. Come on, there we go. 2 and 3. Now I actually wound this the wrong way. I say that because what you want to do is once you get that third one around, this actually isn't entirely 3 around because I only have 2 there. So we want to bring her till we got 3. There we go, we're meeting that one. Now we're going to just take this, come on, and bend it straight up. Now we'll take this and bend it. Now this would be easier in a lighter gauge wire. I've got 20 gauge because I prefer that for pull it all the way through. She doesn't want to come all the way through. She's got that little bit right there at the bottom and I don't want that. So we're going to push that till we get it to come out. This would have been easier if I'd used 22 instead of 20, but I do like 20 for things like this. And I could have probably used a lot less spins too, because this is going to be a little more than I really want it to be. Now I'm going to be naughty because I've decided it has more on it than I want, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to clip this bottom ring off. And that makes it a little smaller of a signature there. So now, let's see if we need this little guy since we're not using a regular ball head. Don't want you guys. I'm actually thinking I may cut off one more of the loops. It's still going to be enough, I'm pretty sure, but maybe just half a loop. There we go. Yeah, I like that one better. It's a little smaller. So, adjustments. Sometimes you've got to make adjustments to make yourself happy with what you're working on. Now, because of that, I've got a little kink right here, so I'm going to straighten that out with my flat nose pliers here. Now let's try this again. Looks better down here on the bottom anyway since I did that. So, now let's see if this will go down on there nicely. Not perfect, but it's better. There we go. And now we'll just wrap this top up. Okay. Bent that over. Now we'll get our pliers in, up and over and around, bring her down, come through here. There we go. So that's a little higher up here than I want it. That's all right, we can bring it down. And we'll hold our pieces together here and take our other plier and wrap this baby around. There's our pendant piece. It'll be stuck to the bail. Now these other pieces, this This is the lobster claw pieces. And so what we're going to do with all of these guys is we're going to take this, same over here. And then these are all going to be wound up separately. So since I like to use my old head pins as 3-inch pieces of wire, we're just going to cut the heads off these. There's the first 3. There's the second 3. So now all we're going to do is we're going to just wind these up. The rice beads, of course, only need just to sit in this one spot. And then we will now what I'm going to do now, you can do one of 2 ways. I think I'm just going to jump ring things, so I'm not going to worry about hooking it straight to the chain. But if you wanted to, you could wrap this straight onto the chain as you go along. But first you'd have to cut your chain pieces, which I haven't done yet. One. And what is it, Rory? So this is what the other one was going to look like this. And like I say, these are just going to have just the rice beads on them. So we'll turn this around here and we'll wrap it up. Now what we are going to do is we're going to hang the pendant on some chain, but we're going to break the chain in 3 or 4 places. Well, it looks like 6. And add these bead strand pieces. Now, ouch! 2 of these will have these pretty guys. Which one did I just drop? Right there. And 4 will have the rice, the single rice bead piece. Rory, what are you doing? Okay, there is our piece there. Isn't that pretty? So we're going to have 2 of these, like I say, and 4 of these. So I'm just going to get all these wound up. Okay, now, excuse me. Now that these are all wound up, what we're going to do is we're going to hook our, come on, Belle, sit there. We're going to put our pendant to a bail, and then we're going to put some chain, and we're going to break the chain, and then we'll put our pretty pieces in the chain periodically. I'm thinking I'm probably going to put to start with, I think we're going to go just like 3 or 4 inches here. This will go down here. Then we'll put another couple of inch or 2 of chain above and then in here and so on. So if we start with 3 and then do like 1 inch or 1.5 inches between each of these. Well, we'll see what it is when we get these pieces in, and then we'll decide how much more chain we want to put up around the back to put in that. But I am going to cut this about right here because I like this distance. So we'll get our cutters. And this is the only one that's a relatively big one. The other ones are going to be all the same size, but they're going to be smaller. Oh, come on, chain. Let me get in here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this aside because we'll wait. Is I'm going to get my Tinky Tots out. Oops, I dropped some. Not good. We don't want to drop our Tinky Tots. Bing. I'm just gonna dump some out here. And I'm going to, I'll put this to the side so it won't get in the way at all. We'll open our little Tinky Tots up. And hook it on the chain on one side and on our bead on the other. And then we'll close it up. Now before we put the second one on, we got to make sure the chain stays in our bail. So there's our first two with our bail in the middle. And then, of course, from the bail, we'll hang the pendant when we're done with everything else. We'll hang the pendant on. But now we have to decide how much chain we want between the next set of beads and chain. So I'm thinking we don't want a huge amount. It's about 1 inch. Then we'll put another inch in the other piece of bead, which will end up about 12, and then we'll have to put some across the bottom, across the back, which is fine because we don't really want beads across our back piece that much. So I'm going to cut it about right here. And then I'm going to cut 3 more pieces this size. Okay, now that I've cut the 4 pieces that are all the same size, what we're going to do is hook this and this and this and this. Now you can do these in any order you want. You can put these 2 together and then these 2, or you know, however you want to do it. I think I am going to just go up the line myself. It's all put together. So there is the beaded chain portion. And now we have to put on our pendant, which we don't have to do right this second because we got to finish up our chain. And we have to measure our chain, what we've got here, and see how much longer we want it. We want to leave out a couple of jump rings to hang the chain on that we're going to add. Actually, we can leave 3 out so that we can put the pendant on. I think it will work with a tinky tot. If not, we'll go up to a medium. So now we'll want to get out our tape measure. Or ruler, as the case may be. Oh, come on, you guys, get out of the way. Okay, so we'll bring our ruler in, pull our chains up to this side, and it is 7, which means it's 14 inches. 14, I want it to be about 20, so about 3 more inches of chain for the sides. Well, 6, and we have to cut it in half then, but that's easy enough. Okay, there's our 6 inches. Now we're going to take our awl again and hold either side. Cut it in half. Now we have 1/2 for either side. So we will get our jump ring open. And put these chains on either side here. Okay, now that the chains are on, we just have to put on our lobster claw and our big ring at the back end, and then our pendant on the front end. So we'll open up this bigger ring and put on one side. Now, if you wanted to put on an extender chain, this is where you would do it, on this side where the big ring is at. Okay, now we grab the other side and get the lobster claw on. Now, I do believe I tested this lobster claw earlier, but let's just test it now. Yeah, that's fine. So now we can hook the two pieces of our chain together. Bing. There we go. And lastly, we're going to put on our pendant. So we will open this little jump ring and see if it will be big enough. Looks like it's going to be fine. And there we are, all done. Isn't that pretty? So there we go. There is our really pretty crystal necklace. It's 20 inches. I'm fairly positive. I didn't measure. Let's check it out. Oh, it's actually about 21. So really pretty pendant, which you could have put on chain all by itself, but in breaking the chain and putting on these little bead strands, we've made it much more elegant and fancy, and I think much prettier. This looks like it's teeny touch crooked. Let's see if we can straighten it some. That's better. Now to straighten a wire loop, I put my pliers into the loop and then hold with my thumbnail on the other side of it, on the bottom, and push it over sideways. See how now it looks a little straighter? So there is our pendant piece and all of our pretty necklace. And if you were to put it on, my hair out of the way, it hangs like this. Now see, those other two are up here on the sides of your neck, those other two beads, where the pretty bunch is right here at the base. Comes down to our pendant down here. Let's back up a little so you can see it better maybe. There it sits, see? Isn't that pretty? So there we go. There is our pretty crystal and beaded necklace using our big crystal from Specialties Bead Strand and the little squares, cube beads also from that strand. The and the fire polish down here. Now these pretty fire polish, the rice style ones, are from Gingerbread. I snitched that strand because I hadn't used it out of there. Figured it matched really nicely. And then the squardelles are from one of the mystery bead stashes. So there we go. That's what it looks like. Isn't it pretty? This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.